Hi, Maggie here again with the latest edition of the Vocal Human. It's not been that long since I did the last video, but so much has changed in the interim. We've had the ridiculous so-called summit between Putin and Trump, which was such a non-event and so one-sided. We've had the meeting in the Oval Office as a result of that, which made Trump look even more weak compared to the other members of, heads of state from Europe and Zelensky. We've had the troops and stuff being moved into Washington, D.C. We've had the whole thing about Texas trying to gerrymander their districts mid-term so that they can rig the midterms. We've had, as a result of that, a sitting Democratic member of the legislature in Texas actually being imprisoned in the state capitol, which is scandalous. And we've also seen the dawn of a different attitude from some of the people in the Democratic Party, and I'm hoping it is growing, where they finally said, okay, enough's enough. We can't just let them keep changing the rules or not having any rules at all. And as just saying, well, that's fine, but we've got to stick to the rules because we're the nice, kind people. No, that's now come to an end. There are people now who are prepared to say, right, if that's what, kind of battle we're in, then we've got to fight that battle. We can't just stand by and allow ourselves to become extinct because we're playing by a different set of rules. So that's all come to light. And we're also seeing additional violence from ICE or the people who pass as ICE in trying to arrest people. So much so that people shooting guns into vehicles with no thought about whether they're going to hurt or even kill people. So the stakes are getting higher. The violence is getting more extreme, and days are getting darker. But as evidenced by the change in attitude by some in the Democratic Party, the resistance is also getting stronger and louder. And it's now getting to the point where people are actively thinking about, as I mentioned in a couple of videos back, where we get to that point where we say, okay, everything that's normal, everything that's moral, everything that's legal has collapsed. And we now need to start thinking things in a different way. We need to react in a different way. We need to take different action than we did before. And it's taking a while to change the mindset to do that. And I understand that. That's just against our nature that we've, as I said before, wanted to play by the rules. But it's come to that point where we have to fight to survive. And if in order to do that, we have to start playing by their rules until they're beaten, then that's maybe what we have to do. It's not something we enjoy. It's not something we like. It's not something we're good at the moment. But we have to learn, and we have to learn fast, because if we don't, it will be too late. As we can see, the pace of change is accelerating, and there are coming more and more threats to not only democracy itself, but to specifically the midterms. The midterms are pretty much the only way that we can wrest back some power and try and even the playing field, trying to settle the score a bit. And if that ability is taken away by basically illegal means or gerrymandering or whatever, then we are in desperate trouble. So the need for us to fight and fight effectively is becoming more and more urgent. So I would say to you that yes, I know that, as I said, the days are getting darker and it's all getting a lot more serious, but we have to steel ourselves to fight the fight. We've all been very lucky, with the exceptions of our brave veterans. We've all been very lucky in not being actively involved in a fight for democracy. But you look back at past generations and things were totally different. The Civil War, I mean, thousands and thousands of people died for what they believed. 2 world wars were fought by people from this country, and they went to foreign wars, but they gave their lives protecting democracy. We had the people in the riots in the 60s. We had 4 killed in Kent State protesting to, move democracy forward. We've had various people die as a result of their fight for democracy. And for some reason or other, we feel that we should be immune from that either democracy should just happen for us or that other people should fight for it for us. But that's not how it works. We, the people, have our democracy, and we, the people, must fight for it. And if it means that we, the people, are the ones that suffer to regain our democracy, then we have to steel ourselves to that. And we cannot shrink away from the task just because that's a possible outcome. We have to take courage. We have to get strength in numbers. We have to let all our voices come together so that we cannot be ignored. And we have to fight the fight. We cannot surrender our democracy without a horrendous fight. Hopefully we will prevail. But even if we don't, people will see that we're on the right side of history and that we went down fighting for something that was important. Anyway, I'll link to that just briefly. I'm starting to get a project off the ground, and it's basically going to be called the Flame of Democracy Project, or the Flame of Democracy Tour. It's very, very early days. I'm only just fleshing the idea out. So far it seems to be being received well by the people I've shared the idea with, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done to get it off the ground and see if it's something that's feasible. But if we can get it off the ground, it's something that's going to be very, very important leading up to the midterms next year. It'll be basically 60 days of various events across the whole country that is going to concentrate on the value of democracy and what we're fighting for. And as I say, I'll give you more details as things develop, but it's something I'm trying to do just as my little part to try and concentrate the minds on what we're actually fighting for. So more later, watch this space. Anyway, in the meantime, please stay safe, stay well, please stay in the fight. If you've got any comments, please leave them, like, share, follow. It's all important. Please do that, subscribe. And until the next time, as I say, please stay safe and well. Big hugs from me, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye for now. Bye.